I love DVD commentaries, and I realised recently, hey, I'm a narcissist, let's make one too. So what better way to do that than with ranking every Ratchet and Clank game. Today is the 1 year anniversary of it, so I thought it'd be cool to do this commentary, just going over the creative process of it and just generally talking about how it came to be. So even though this uploaded in November 2019, the story actually begins in June 2019. So that's actually when the channel started, and in the first month, I basically just made, I think I made like 8 videos, just making a bunch of different things to figure out which direction I wanted to take the channel in. So I made some video essays, I made some let's plays, and I made some tier maker ranking videos. And those videos are absolutely dog shit, which is why they've since been unlisted off the channel. But one of those videos I made during that period was ranking every Ratchet and Clank game. Not the one you know, but a unscripted, unedited 13-minute train wreck of a tier maker ranking. And this is notable because this was the first video to really get any sort of attention. Why did I say it like that? Because at the time I had 6 subscribers, so, all of the videos got nothing in terms of views. But this video got like 100 views in a few weeks, even despite it being absolute dog shit. So this told me, oh, okay, so there's clearly an interest in this topic. So I kind of kept that with me, even after I unlisted the video. And if you're curious, by the way, I've actually since uploaded these videos here on this channel, unlisted in a playlist. I would not recommend it. They are, as I said, they are absolute dog shit. But if you're curious, it's there. But yeah. So after I did that, and then that led to me creating the first From Joshy episode, which is now the first episode, the first video on the channel, the Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled one. Because that's the first one where I really tried. I actually tried to make a good video rather than the Rust train wreck, the first few videos I made in June. But yeah, so fast forward then to August 2019, where I made the video on Legend of K, and to this day, I think it is the biggest piece of shit I have ever made. I really do not like that video. To me, like, just the analysis is just non-existent. Most of the jokes just completely fall flat. I really despise that video. I've thought about removing it numerous times, and I decided against it because I feel that would set a bad precedent for the channel if I, deleted everything I wasn't, completely thrilled with. But it's more than that. I absolutely hate the video, but point is, I was really disappointed with the video. So that actually motivated me to think, okay, my next video has to be the greatest video ever made. It's gonna be amazing. And then, so I thought, okay, well, what can this video be on? And I thought back to the early days of the channel, and I remembered, oh yeah, that ranking every Ratchet and Clank video, like that was, that did well, even despite it being dog shit. So if I actually did that, but properly scripted and properly edited, this could really be something. So that's what I did. And I guess that leads us into the writing process. So the way I developed my style and how I wrote this video was I marathoned all of my favorite videos by my favorite creators, and I made mental notes as to, what made these videos work so well for me. And I don't just mean, oh, it was funny, or oh, it was informative, but why was it funny? Why was it informative? And I realized that what all of these creators embody really well is that philosophy of show don't tell. And I've actually talked about this philosophy in the context of video games in the From Joshy video, the technique that makes games great. So I'll link that at the end if you want to hear me talk more about that idea. But basically, so for example, with Video Game Donkey, he will never just say, this game mechanic sucks. He will show himself trying to use the game mechanic and getting progressively more pissed off at it. That still gets the point across that the game mechanic sucks, but it's done in a much more entertaining way. So I took that philosophy and applied it to my style and my humor, and that's basically what ranking every Ratchet and Clank game was. It was just me playing around with that philosophy. So, for example, the size matter section was me embodying the show side of things, where it was just me kind of, reacting and thinking like, it showed me like playing the game, and I'd be like, oh, wow, this plays just like the original games. This is great. But then it showed me then getting to the hoverboard sections and being like, what the fuck are these controls? But then there was some where I would, you need to have a balance, because I feel if it's just all showing, that can get kind of monotonous and annoying. So, I balanced it with telling as well. So some I would just straight up tell you why I like the game. Like, I think the Up Your Arsenal section was just me telling you why I think is a masterpiece. And then there was some where I balanced the two. So, for example, the Into the Nexus section started with me showing me, like, reacting to, like, oh shit, this is darker than I expected. And then it segued into me just telling you what made the game work so well for me. And and it was me just playing around with this philosophy and that balance of show versus tell versus show and tell that really just gave that video such a nice flow, I felt, and a good momentum. And also my laptop's about to die. Hold on. Okay, the laptop is saved. But yeah, me playing around with that, I think is what really gave the video such a great ebb and flow, and what kept it consistently engaging, I feel. And I have since I still hold that philosophy, but I do it in a different way now, because I've since developed it like a even more distinct style. I think that the style I used there was distinct, but I think I've really fleshed it out into his own thing since. But yeah, point is that I think that really just informed everything that made what made the video work, like I said. And that, of course, is also how the a cappella rap sequence was born. That's probably the most memorable moment of the channel so far. Definitely one of them, I think. But of course, when in the Ratchet and Clank 1 section, I suddenly just break out in an a cappella rap sequence. So how the hell did that come to be? Well, there are actually a few factors that led to that. So first of all, it was just that show don't tell philosophy. Because I got to Ratchet and Clank 1 and I was like, well, okay, what the hell? How else can I use this show don't tell at this point? I honestly felt like, I've kind of done everything I can with this in regards to Ratchet and Clank. But the one thing I immediately comes to mind with Ratchet and Clank 1 is his soundtrack. So again, using that show don't tell mentality, I thought, okay, well, what if I showed that it had a great soundtrack by literally rapping over the soundtrack? So that's how that originally came to be. And why rap specifically? Well, during these the earlier stages of my channel, I was thinking of more and more ways of how to, make them more personal and make them more me. And one part of my identity I hadn't shown yet, my love for rapping. Because I actually have a history of writing raps. Obviously nothing professional, but I had some friends online I would write raps with, and we'd exchange raps and stuff for years. And it always got good feedback. People really liked them. So I thought, I have this long history of raps, and I personally was always really happy with the raps I wrote. So I thought, I could bring that into the channel. That'd be another part of me I could bring into the channel. And then, of course, the last part was, okay, so I can understand those, but how did the a cappella thing come to be? Like, do you really like Crash Twinsanity that much? That came to be because I had a fear that, because I only had 21 subscribers at the time. As you can see in the screenshot here, this was taken 2 weeks before Ratchet and Clank came out, but the ranking Ratchet. But yeah, so I was actually, because of that, I was afraid that I would get copyright striked, because the plan was to just rap over the Metropolis soundtrack. But I feared, I'm only a 21 subscriber YouTuber. If they copyright strike me, I'm fucked. I wouldn't be able to dispute this, because even though most people just use game soundtracks in their video essays, for example, technically that is illegal, and any game studio could copyright strike that if they wanted, and obviously no one does. But still, as a 21 subscriber YouTuber, as a newbie, I thought, I don't want to risk that. So then I realized, okay, but they can't copyright strike my voice. So that is what led to the idea of me recreating the Metropolis soundtrack with my voice. And I've actually since found out that they technically can copyright strike your voice. I've heard a few YouTubers where they sang a song, for example, in a video, and that got copyright striked. And I imagine they disputed it because that's just ridiculous. Obviously, there's loads of cover artists as well who have had to deal with loads of disputes, loads of copyright strikes. But luckily, I didn't know that at the time. So, if I knew that, I probably wouldn't have done it. So luckily, that worked out. But yeah, so that's how the a cappella rap sequence came to be. And of course, it has since become a reoccurring thing of the, I like to make it a part of all the ranking videos now. It's since reappeared in the Sly Cooper and Tony Hawk ones so far. And it's just really a special moment of the channel, I think. I love how that turned out. Where's my laptop froze? Okay, no, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, that's the writing process. The editing process is really not a whole lot to talk about because you probably noted that this video was a response to the Legend of K1, but yet this video came out like 2 videos after the Legend of K1, and that's because this was actually this was the most ambitious video I had ever made, and probably it's definitely still one of. I mean, I've made a few, well, actually, maybe not anymore, but it was my most ambitious one at the time. So because of that, like, the editing was absolute hell, and it actually almost didn't end up making the video because the editing was so much, and like I was just really burnt out, and I just couldn't. So I actually temporarily scrapped the video, and that's when I then made skateboarding in non-skateboarding games. But then, it's just something about it. Something about the video stuck with me. I think deep down I knew that I had something special here. So I ended up returning to it after that little break, making the skateboarding one, and obviously then I did the Halloween special, and then finally this released. I guess the other thing as well I was talking about is how I did the acapella part. So pretty much all it was I put on the Metropolis soundtrack on my TV on my PS4, and then just played it over and over and like recreated each part with my voice. So like I don't know like the instrumentation terms or whatever, but like the one part like where like I don't know the terms, but like one part I would like recreate that, and then I would recreate another part of the instrumentation, and then just put them all together like that. So that's how that came to be. But yeah, then the video finally released, and obviously because I only had 21 subscribers at the time, I think it got a fair amount of views fairly quick. Like it got like 1,000 views. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I think like 1,000 views by the end of the year. And I ended 2019 with 46 subscribers. But then in February, that's when it happened. In February, the algorithm picked it up, and the video just skyrocketed to 250,000 plus views. And obviously then that just transformed the channel forever. So yeah, huge thank you to everyone who helped that happen. It has seriously been incredible. I mean, I really don't know what else to say. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. One thing I love to do is, so on IMDb they have like on the films they have like a trivia section for like for trivia for the films, like behind the scenes stuff. So I've always loved to do that with my creations, because I always love to look back on them in hindsight. I remember like, oh yeah, I remember this part was inspired by this thing I was interested in at the time and stuff like that. So I actually made some notes on this one. So there's a few other extra notes I made. Let me have a look here. Right, yeah, so this shot here, this was actually taken from footage of a YouTube channel I made in 2017. So I made this YouTube channel called Vita27, which was, I don't know either. It was going to be a PS Vita channel, like dedicated to PS Vita games. And I made these 3 videos playing through Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault on my Vita wrench only. And again, I've actually since uploaded them here on this channel, unlisted in the playlist. Again, would not recommend it because in that video I sound like I've just come back from a funeral. I did not, but I just sounded dead inside, and like, yeah, I just would not recommend it. But they're there out of curiosity if you want to see it. But yeah, so that's where that shot came from. That footage came from that. Also this part here where I show Ratchet yelling, like this was the final shot of the Size Matters section where I say fuck this game, and then that's accompanied by Ratchet yelling. I originally wanted this shot to actually be like a shot of the game lying on the floor, and then like me like unzipping my jeans, as I say fuck this game, taking it very literally. But when I went to record this, I realized that I'd actually lost my physical copy of Size Matters, and I decided buying a new one wasn't worth it because, it's Size Matters. But, and it's probably for the best because it sounds like a really shit joke in hindsight. Ratchet yelling is probably just funnier anyway, I don't know. But yeah, there was that. And also the rap line, the controls have aged like, and then like it cuts to like a piece of shit, implying the line is, the controls have aged like shit. That line was actually originally going to be the controls have aged like Brit, referring to Britney Spears. And I actually did record that line. And you can, if you listen to the song in the video, you can hear it cuts out at that part. But yeah, I actually originally was saying Brit there. I might still have the recording. I'll play it. If I do, I'll play it now. Despite this, it's only my 5 pick because the controls have aged like Brit. And I took that, so the point of that line of age like Brit, referring to Britney Spears, that was meant to be like a reference to the like the fuck Britney Spears theme of Ratchet and Clank 3, which I later joke about in this very video. And I decided to cut it because I feel like that wasn't obvious, and I feel it was just I feel like that just came across as a mean-spirited jab at Britney herself, rather than a reference to the fuck Britney Spears thing. So I decided to remove it because of that. And it was probably for the best, because I think instead that line, I think, and also, yeah, I remember as well, I did then try to re-record it as like shit, but like, I don't know, I just couldn't get it to, like, I just couldn't do it in a way that was satisfying. Like, it kind of stood out, like, you could tell it was like, different recordings, you know. I could probably, because I didn't know enough about, like, audio engineering and editing at the time to make it sound good. So that's what led to me then thinking of, instead of just directly saying shit, of just, you know, cutting it out and then putting a picture of shit, you know, implying what the word was. And that was by far the funniest of the 3 scenarios that could have been here. So it worked out really well. But yeah, that was the original plan there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, yeah. So yeah, that is my, so yeah, there it is. There's the creative process, as well as random trivia notes about ranking every Ratchet and Clank game. In hindsight, I of course still love the video. Definitely one of the best things I've ever made. And again, I'm just blown away by the immense support it's received. I get any things I would change in hindsight. I mean, obviously, I think my analysis skills have drastically grown since then. Like there's some sections, like, I don't know, there's some sections I you know, like if I remade the video now, the analysis would be a lot better, I think. Like, also, I think, like, for example, the size matters section, like, I would put something positive in there now, because I think my size matters section here was just entirely negative, and I understand why I did that, because, you know, it's funnier and more entertaining to rip on this stupid game. But there were a few things I did like about size matters, so I kind of wish I had, like, a, you know, after all the negative sequence, I kind of wish I did put in some things I liked about the game too, just for balance sake and whatever. But no, ultimately, yeah, really happy with this video. Really appreciate all the support it's received on it. This commentary's gone on way too long, so I'm going to end it there. If you want to watch the video again, I will of course link it at the end, as well as that Technique That Makes Games Great video if you want to hear me break down the show don't tell philosophy in regards to games. So I'll put both of those on the end screen. You can choose whichever one you want. But yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, thanks for making the video what it is, and thanks for listening to this. I was really excited to do this because there's barely any, like, discussion of the creative process of a YouTuber and, like, YouTube video essayists. You know, like, there's loads of discussions about, like, the creative process of how to write a novel and how to make a film and stuff. But I really feel like the YouTube creation process really isn't talked about much, and there's a real shame. So hopefully this, you know, anyone who's also interested in that got some value out of this. I think it's a pretty interesting insight into, like, the creation of a YouTube video essay of a comedic variety as well, which I feel is even less covered, you know. And if you are interested in that, I actually do have a podcast with my friend, and we discussed the creative process. You know, like, one of my friends is a rapper, one is a filmmaker, and obviously I'm a YouTuber. We made a podcast discussing the creative process from, you know, our unique angles. So if you're interested in this kind of thing as well, then definitely go check that out. I'll link that on the end screen as well, and you can also find it on, like, Spotify and stuff. All the links are in the description. But yeah, anyway, again, it's gone on too long. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the support on this video. It has been incredible. Completely transformed the channel, and really done a ton for, like, my, you know, my confidence and self-esteem as well. You know, seeing so many people appreciate my jokes and everything like that, it seriously means so much. So thank you so much. My new From Joshy video just came out yesterday as well, ranking my top 3 games of all 6 PlayStations. I worked in a few references to this video in that video because, you know, it came out a day before the 1 year anniversary, so hopefully you guys caught that. But yeah, again, gone on too long. Bye, peace.